Right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Renaissance Jeffrey, and this is the Workers' Rights Platform. We are broadcasting live from the Workers' Rights Network. And today, we're going on our Power Park show. Today is the 12th of June 2023. Now, we would have started our series since, we would have proposed our series since last week, a matter of fact. And yesterday, we would have made our commitment as to bring some of these things to the forefront to you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago. So when the time comes, you can make the right decision, the right choice, and to move in a particular direction that will benefit you, your children, your grandchildren, and those that you might leave behind. They said it was once said that a wise man plant a tree knowing very well he will not benefit from its shade. And that is the approach we must take towards politics in Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning, everyone. That was 9/11. 9/11. Now, yesterday we would have made some bold allegations, some claims, as to tell you that, as to have a discussion, a matter of fact, because we are open to correction. Or if you feel that you might want to debate, to have a healthy discussion, a matter of fact, concerning what was said, you could call the number, reach out, we go set up the interview, we go set up a live broadcast, a matter of fact, with you and us. Bring your facts, your evidence as to what is taking place. Now, we would have went through the area of Library, and we would have showed you how dilapidated. Now, we have a whole documentary that we are going to release on just that. A whole documentary that we're going to release on just that. Now, we would have spoken to you yesterday, a matter of fact, concerning point Fortin and the infrastructure that it have there for a government that have always won point Fortin. Yeah, the government would have always had point Fortin and Library in the bag. Lavantil and other areas, but are focusing on point and Library. And for the type of development that taking place there, and the excuses that we just get for the lack of development when we would have gone to our various MPs, councillors and things, is that Library, when we bring things Library, they rub it. So what? Put the necessary initiative or initiate a plan that could prevent just that. It have KFC, it have Royal Castle, it have all of them things all over Trinidad and Tobago. You feel you don't get a rub? Churches, all of these places, Subway, all of these places, all over. And they have the security and the police force to apply their trade. And various other security companies throughout Trinidad and Tobago. But that is a poor excuse. When we would have gotten one of the most largest, two industrial estates within the area and people still fighting for a job, that is disrespectful. Yeah, that is disrespectful. That is disrespectful. We have one of the most natural wonders of the world. One of the 8 wonders, of the world. A massive company. And it kind of breaking even. Not kind of, but it is reported that it is breaking even at this point in time. When many of the people around the area would have benefited from such as the lake asphalt. They can't take on no other person. When you could have a van and could have drive down into the estate, and get something, all of that is closed off now to the public. It have a big gate. And just to start the discussion in a particular way, let me show you what's taking place in point in terms of where the infrastructure is concerned. That is point 14. No toilet facility. That's the only stand it up. That stand and the maxi stand. That's point 14. Some of these buildings and them is 2 and 3 years old, but not 2 and 3 years, but years. Main Street. Now, this is the infrastructure in point. And what we are saying is that this is the dilapidated infrastructure in the area of Point 14. And we are representative with our borough, with our parliament, with our councillors, with our mayor, and watch what we are getting. Point 14, it's time to fire these people, and trust me, it's time to fire them. You can't be having this in point. And this is the extent of what is taking place. Black people, or you wake up. Many of you are behind buildings, the twin buildings, and at the end of the day, we still voting them in. What more? You don't understand that or? What you park? No, you have a toilet. And if you no point for it, you go to the toilet quite down the road. Right down the road. Well, that are signing out. Now that is point 14 for you all. That is what we just call Victor Chinket Park in point 14. And if you get a hot, if somebody fall into difficulty with power bowel movement, where they go use? And we have a MP, we have a mayor, and we are councillors and aldermen. Point 14 is a borough. The only stand it have there, I mean, all others, they just put the no mark out certain things. It's that one that going to see just. The Captiville stand is not recognized, which part it is in front of KFC. The Labre stand, they now get somewhere to put them, but before that, people was stiffing a chance, and that is the kind of thing that is taking place. The Sando stand, we know it was always there. It always had the bus stand in front of people in there. It in itself have a shed to brace the sun, the hot sun. And we must ask ourselves the question, people, if you decide to be honest with yourself and truthful to yourself. We have a government, they say don't think with the government, but what you employing them for? To do the things that a normal man cannot do. And that is to see about the population collectively, to look about the interests of the population collectively. Not individually, but collectively. And the reason why we are advocating to get rid of that MP in point 14, to vote him out. And I am calling on the PNM party group to do just that. Get rid of the present MP. This is something that we had to take. Boy, let me go into this. Now in 1962, Eric Williams would have quote something. The future of the nation is in the children's book bag. That was in 1962. And in places like in Point 14, where we would have seen Point 14 Library and environs, where we would have seen the vitality and the blessings of these many industries down here. We would have thought living in an area like this it would have been beneficial to us. But that is not the case. How much of you could singly say that I or you or somebody working in Trinidad, when I used to check the roster as the people working there, you're going to see plenty of them is not from library. And yesterday I would have said that today I go show you something. But before we go on to that, let me show you, let me give you a glimpse of San Fernando. Just in the stark contrast of what we are saying. Right, I want to show you something to compare. What's the infrastructure in San Fernando? This is the library here. Right? My library. And watch the infrastructure in San Fernando. Watch how different it is. As in stark contradiction to what is taking place in Point Fortin. This is San Fernando. And I find it can still do better. There is a room for improvement. What's going on down there? Take a look right down High Street. Buildings and so forth. So when we saying that Point Fortin have a MP, it have councillors, it have aldermen, and to top it up, it have a mayor. It have a mayor. Cameras to keep the citizens safe. And now you're telling me we're going to continue to give Point Fortin MP a chance again? Boy, that madness. Madness. Do not take God out of your thoughts and put back Kennedy and them fellas and them down there. They fail, and we have to lead them there with a fail. The fail, and we must lead them right there with the fail. You give somebody a chance, they don't produce, you have to cut them off. If you go to the store, ladies and gentlemen, and buy a product and you're not getting what the manufacturer say that you will get from it, waiters do not carry it back to the store, or try to get a refund or change the product. And if we are not getting value for our money within an area as this that have been religiously voting for a government that purporting itself to say that, all right, we here for you. What is the next best thing? Not to vote them out and to vote something that will help you. We must reach an age here in Trinidad and Tobago, and I am saying this across the board. When something not working, we replace it. We must be loyal to ourselves and not a party again. We must be loyal to our comrades, the neighbor, that if your tire bust, go help you replace it. The neighbor that if you go hungry, you could get some. That the culture we still have in Trinidad. The PNM party, ladies and gentlemen, the main political parties in Trinidad and Tobago are, number one, the People's National Movement. The PNM governed Trinidad and Tobago from 1956 to 1986. And if you had a check, that 20 years unprecedented. from 1991 to 1995, from 2001 to 2010, and 2015 till present. Now the UNC, we could say the UNC was 1995 to 2001 and 2010 to 2015. Two terms. 2 terms. So the major part of the development and the infrastructure within Trinidad and Tobago was piloted by the PNM. And why we have to reach in a place today when we are uncertain about our future. That is what frightening a lot of people, and that is what causing a lot of people to come out and to speak out concerning certain things. Because they cannot see past the big toe, and it's frightening. When you saving all your money and putting it in the bank and so forth, it is not certain. The state of the economy is not certain again. Patrick Manning and a lot of accolades underneath the belt, something that no other PNM Prime Minister, the present one, could say. Places like Napa and Sapa and these kind of things, some of you may have argued that his ideas was too grandiose. But because of that, we have a history. And the thing about it is this. The thing about it is this. Now, on the descent of our former Prime Minister, Patrick Manning, another clip. We are going to peer into the psychology of our present Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley. And we will go into editorial behind this clip. It doesn't make no sense to reinvent the wheel concerning certain things.
I want to tell you something. I'm from Mason Hall in Tobago. Mason Hall very close to Lekoto. The last time I was put out of anywhere for anything, the person who put me out regretted it.
And you hearing the people in the background, you hearing somebody praising, yeah, are you hearing that?
I want to tell you something. I'm from Mason Hall in Tobago. Mason Hall very close to Lekoto.
I'm from Mason Hall close to Lekoto. Where Lekoto is known for in the public domain. To the people and them who are living in Tobago, where Lekoto is known for, are you not hearing the vengefulness in the mouth of the Prime Minister and some sycophant in the back? Yeah.
The last time I was put out of anywhere for anything, the person who put me out regretted it. Remember I was in the cabinet? I took issue over the behavior of Calder Hart and UDCOP. And what happened to me? I was put out of the cabinet. The person who put me out regretted it. I want to tell you something.
Are you not hearing vengefulness in the mouth of of our current Prime Minister? And how you feel that behavior would have stopped?
I from Mason Hall in Tobago.
I from Mason Hall.
Mason Hall very close to Liquor 2. The last time I was put out of anywhere for anything, the person who put me out regretted it. Remember I was in the cabinet? I took issue over the behavior of Calder Hart and UDCOP. And what happened to me? I was put out of the cabinet. The person who put me out regretted it. I wanted to...
Just now, director, just now. You see now, man, even self from back then, you hear in the words of a gentleman that bring forth a particular claim within the parliament, as the storyline would have said. And he was placed outside of the parliament. And he turned around and he said the gentleman regretted it. He talked something subliminally living close to Lekki Toe. Oh yeah, you see this thing that taking place here? Now we're going into this clip here. Somebody tell me it was Marlene who was in the background.
A very difficult period. Have no VAT on all the basic food items. We have a whole huge list of zero-rated items. Somebody finds you need 7,000 more items from which VAT should be removed so that the people wouldn't be oppressed. The people of Trinidad and Tobago who are oppressed can't find the next meal. Try and get a park in the savannah next week. Oh, is it tonight? Tomorrow. Tobago who are oppressed can't find the next meal.
So what are you trying to tell me, Kid Rowley? Are you making fun of the conditions of some of the people? You feel everybody have the capability and the ability as to reach around the savannah? You feel the whole of Trinidad and Tobago is going to that savannah for some artists as you claim saying?
Try and get a park in the savannah next week. Oh, is it tonight? Tomorrow night. Tomorrow night? Try and get in savannah tomorrow night. Savannah tomorrow night. Try and get in savannah tomorrow night. Try and get in savannah tonight. Try and get in savannah tonight. Tomorrow night. Tomorrow night. Tomorrow night. Tomorrow night. Tonight. Tomorrow night. Tomorrow night. Tonight. Tomorrow night. Tomorrow night. Try and get.
Who was that person that saying tomorrow night? Somebody come and tell me that songing like Camille Robinson Rages. Because we know that when we started to talk about certain things, we know where this thing going in. It's lawyer letter. It's pre-action protocol letter. Because we know that they know the law. Instead of the challenge some of the statements as to answer the claim as I, being a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, is lawyer letter and thing come in. So we... You know what's funny about this whole thing? That Camille Robinson Rages is somebody that understands the diverse culture as to what certain people are going through in Trinidad and Tobago. And let me hear it from she mouth. Let me hear it from her mouth. Now this here on the screen here is a debate that would have taken place when they was trying or they was debating the factor with Gary Griffith, where they wanted him to be commissioner of police and he would have sent his certs. And they was debating that fact when he would have pledged his service to this country. And after, that was on July the 30th, 2018. And here the statement of Camille Robinson Regis. She understands what people is going through in Trinidad, especially the black man. Especially the black man.
To bring emancipation greetings, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the country will once again commemorate one of the most historically momentous events in the history of mankind, the emancipation of slaves. And in Trinidad and Tobago, we have a holiday that commemorates this in 2 days' time. It is an event marked by tremendous celebrations throughout the country as we recall with pride the legacy built by and bequeathed to us by our ancestors. Such an occasion, Madam Speaker, affords us the opportunity not only to pause for a while and reflect on that legacy, but to also ask some deep and searching questions as to our capitalizing on that which we have inherited. Have we made it better? Have we deepened and strengthened the ties that bind us together? Have we made proud those ancestors who dared to hope and believe against all visible and invisible odds that a brighter and better day was possible? While there are indeed many success stories, both on an individual and communal level, of successful entrepreneurial pursuits, of academic and sporting excellence, of increased ownership of our ethnic ancestral moorings, the evidence around us seems to suggest as well that in many ways we have not responded as fully as we should, as our forefathers might have hoped.
Now, as I say, Camille Robinson Regis would have understand for themselves that even back then in 2018 that we, the black government, would have failed the people, the black people. What's that? It's the games that we don't see here. It's the games.
Excellence, of increased ownership of our ethnic ancestral moorings. The evidence around us seems to suggest as well that in many ways we have not responded as fully as we should. The evidence around us seems to suggest as well that in many ways we have not responded as fully as we should, as our forefathers might have hoped. The evidence around us seems to suggest as well that in many ways we have not responded as fully as we should, as our forefathers might have hoped. The evidence around us seems to suggest as well that in many ways we have not responded as fully as we should, as our forefathers might have hoped. Whilst there are many who have excelled, there are far too many young black males who have chosen lifestyles that are inimical to their well-being, and our nation's prisons show that, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, despite our history,
we have not responded as we should. Is that a confession? And then they use a suppressed correlative within their speech. Now we had to hold these administration by the color and say, here what's going on. You fail we. And I'm specifically talking towards to young people. What about the people, I go say like us, that went and get ourselves certified in different fields And at the end of the day, when you come out of school, nothing. You ain't believe it are people that went on with. And what are we going to do about that? Are we going to sit down and take what a customer, what they're dishing out to us? Or are we going to stand up and say something and do something for my body, our people, and say we're not taking this and carry our proposal to the representative bodies? It's far too long that this thing continue. 18,000 people coming out of school on a yearly basis and have nothing for them. No future. And we seeing the people that we paying, the working class. We paying them and making millions. Spending the money without care. Let me show you something that say I would have started with this. Now I is a fairly young person. I ain't reached 40 yet. I go leave it as that. I don't want ageism to affect the message and the style that is being delivered here today. Now this is our certificate here. Project plan management, project management. I would have paid a significant amount of money for that. This was one in the University of the West Indies. The open campus. That is instrumentation. This one is pipe fitting and fabrication. This one here is boat engineering. This one here is industrial mechanical maintenance. This is a very long certificate here. This would have business entrepreneurship, business training and programming, and what we would have learned: business etiquette and protocol, business taxation, costing and pricing, developing a business plan, information technology, and managing staff and marketing. That is when I leave school. I went, and this one here is process plant operation, to run and to operate some of the plants and them that you are seeing. And this one I would have done this in conjunction to landscaping. Was something I did like, and I went and do this one with one of the training within the school, the Ministry of Communication and Development. And at the end of the day, yes, I'm a 30s, right? At the end of the day, when I would have thought, you know, like the normal man, I ain't going to school, and by the way, I have 7 subjects. When I come out, you know, I could look for a job and apply, and I'm not rigging and banks, man, and all these things. And I'm just showing you, not a boast. Imagine I had that underneath my belt, and I still cannot get a job. Imagine for you that didn't finish school. Imagine for you that don't have that. And I ain't talking about no jokey thing. I'm talking about engineering, plant operation, fabrication, pipe fitting, industrial mechanical maintenance. And when you go to certain establishment, some they tell you you're overqualified, but at the end of the day, this is what's taking place outside there. Who you think getting these jobs and them? If you was to call for the qualifications as some of the people that is working within the establishment, that with one certificate and educational background of that level, you know they didn't have it. They didn't have it. Because when you leave school, it's a monopoly that taking place outside there. It's who know who. That is what taking place, you know? And we know that many of you are certified, but are cashiers in groceries. Many of you are certified, but are security guards. I'm bad talking the job spec, you know? But your mother, your father, your aunt, or brother would have sacrificed for you to get some of the subjects that you have. The mother, your father would have do without eating. Some of them work extra hours just to provide you with an education, and some of you are so, how to say it, so ungrateful. None of you ain't seen that, and you seen the struggles after you leave the school. But during the period of time that the mother or the father had was to hold the fault for you to get education. Some of you saying, boy, mommy could have do better.
I believe now more than ever that whilst cynicism and apathy are choices, hope is the better choice. It is that deep-seated hope that echoed in the Negro spirituals and would later find voice in our own storytellers like the Mighty Sparrow's Slave and Bob Marley's Get Up, Stand Up for Your Rights.
You know the problem, eh?
Trinidad and Tobago continued at times sporadic march forward demands a stubborn optimism that can only come from a place of renewed hope rather than apathetic ennui. As we commemorate the Emancipation event and celebrate our achievements, I wish to challenge the community of the descendants of slaves to note that as a community, we must understand the value of the sacrifice for the greater good. Remember that cynicism and apathy are the guardians of the status quo. And be aware that for success as the descendants of slaves, we must have dedicated organization as the only antidote. We thank those of the descendants of the enslaved who worked assiduously to ensure the development of our country of Trinidad and Tobago. The development of this country was well propelled only when all sectors of the society accept the reality of our present circumstances and their role in making it better. One way we can do that is to drink copiously from the legacy left by our ancestors. Emancipation, Madam Speaker, was never meant to be a static event, but an ongoing pilgrimage of freedom, growth, and achievement. As we celebrate Emancipation Day 2018, I pray that we may never let the atrocities and barbarism of slavery define us, but rather live each day with the stubborn optimism of those giants who walked before us with pride, with dignity, and more so with hope. Madam Speaker, on behalf of the government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, on behalf of the People's National Movement, I wish the national community a happy and hope-filled Emancipation 2018. Thank you very kindly, Madam.
Honourable Member Fernando.
And she would have known, Camille Robinson Regis would have understand the struggle. The struggle. But I wonder if the care still. Now we're going into a retro from the late great Gladiator.
But today, I told you yesterday I come to deal with BIM and BAM.
Yes. These two political fools, Rowley and Hines. Yes! Rowley and Hines. Citizens of TNT, you lucky is only 1 hour, no one. You're lucky. Because you know 1 hour is not enough for me. Citizens of TNT, citizens of the Republic, in 2012, in the month of January 2012, the citizens of TNT awoke to the news that the former political leader of the PNM party, Patrick Manning, got a stroke. It touched many of us. It touched many, many, many of us. This week, many members of the PNM, thousands of PNM, were taken by surprise, in shock, in utter disgust, to hear a comment coming from the political leader against the former leader of the PNM. Now you know this man, Rowley, he loves to sue. He have the attorneys, Faris Alwari, Stuart Young. Well, the ballad rasta is a waste of time. Full of talk and chat. Chatter, chatter, chatter. Yeah. So, I brought the recording here because many people have been calling me even before I come here. Many PNM people have been calling me and saying, Gladiator, this man is going too far. Dr. Keith Rowley. And rather than you unite the party, these are the things that you are saying on a platform. You decide to talk about Obia and direct your Obia to the former leader of the party. Let's hear track one first.
I'm from Mason Hall in Tobago. Mason Hall very close to Liquor 2.
I didn't hear that clearly at all. Let's hear that again one more time.
I'm from Mason Hall in Tobago. Mason Hall very close to Liquor 2.
Ah, you're bad, you're brave, you're bold. I'm from Mason Hall. And Mason Hall close to Liquor 2. Eh? Let me hear it again.
I'm from Mason Hall in Tobago. Mason Hall very close to Liquor 2.
Mason Hall very close to Liquor 2. Yeah. You ain't saying Mason Hall close to Moriah, but you say Mason Hall close to Liquor 2. Because you feel that all of we are a bunch of dunce. You see, God do not sleep. He might wear pajamas, but he don't sleep at all. He don't sleep at all. Patrick Manning is not in the politics. Patrick Manning is relaxing and trying to recuperate from the stroke he received in the month of January 2012. I want the listening public. We're going now to the next track because I'm going to play the whole track that I want to play for you all. Because some people didn't hear it at all. But it is my duty to monitor every statement that this, bim, and the next one, bam, the ballad rasta. Because y'all are two political blights in the PNM. And this is why I told you, Rowley. I told you that you're not fit to be prime minister at all. I told you that because You have venom in you. You have spite in you. You have too much hate in you. You're just like Jack Warner. And Jack Warner trying to carry the torch for you. Because Jack Warner knows that you will never be Prime Minister. Let's hear what this man have to say about Patrick Manning.
I want to tell you something. I'm from Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad very close to liquor too. The last time I was put out of anywhere for anything, the person who put me out regretted it.
Wait. Play that again. Play it. And you hear the woman laughing. She happy. Let me hear it again. Let me hear that part again.
I want to tell you something. I'm from Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad very close to liquor too. The last time I was put out of anywhere for anything, the person who put me out regretted it.
Hear the laugh. Hear the laugh. Yeah. Because you knew, and you paused, because you knew they got the message. We go into the real track here. Play it.
I want to tell you something. I'm from Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad very close to liquor too. The last time I was put out of anywhere for anything, the person who put me out regretted it. Remember I was in the cabinet? I took issue over the behavior of Calder Hart and Udicup. And what happened to me? I was put out of the cabinet. The person who put me out regretted it.
And you want to be the next Prime Minister of this country? You want to be the next Prime Minister of this country, and this is what you have to say about the former leader of the People's National Movement? What does go through your head, Rowley? What did this really go through your head? What does really go through your head? Patrick Manning has not stated anything or say anything about you since the Prime Minister have announced the election. Everybody knows that Lekoto is reputed as the homeland for obeah, witchcraft, black magic, obeah, necromancy, making pact with the devil. Everybody knows that. You did not mention that Mason Hall is close to Moriah in Tobago. You could have mentioned that. But you knew what you were saying. But you know you will have Faris Alwari coming to spin that. You can't spin that at all. So wait now, you went to Gangang Sarah in Leketo. You know who's Gangang Sarah? I show them Tobagonians know who's Gangang Sarah. You go on a platform, you mount a platform to talk obeah on the former leader of the people. Look.
Now the people at Trinidad and Tobago, there were people warning you even back then about what we are receiving today from the then Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, our Prime Minister. We vote him in. We vote in that individual. And I hope at this point in time that this warning today ain't go unnoticed. When we here on this workers' rights platform is advocating for the fact that we must no longer, as black people, vote PNM. It is unbeneficial to us I would have just taken the time to go through certain things concerning the poor infrastructure where I am living. The development as to where I am living. And I'll show you how much certs and certify that I am in different aspects and in fields. And I'll show you that regardless to the fact that you have subjects and educational background and training in certain things, the stage are already set against us. When we thought that being black and having a black government, that we not to come together and form no group and be like this association or that association. But we today are seeing that it is working against us. And the solution is this. We must come together as a collective and not as an individual anymore. Because nobody know how we back in it. Nobody know how we back. And you would have heard from a clip that we would have played that from in the parliament, this man seeing people or presuming that a lot of people is going to come out, so we should raise VAT and put back VAT on certain items. And we hearing them keep on killing us. Nah, man. Nah. Can't be so brave, but you can't be so brave. When we say don't vote PNM in point, that's what we mean.
Be oppressed. The people of Trinidad and Tobago who are oppressed can't find the next meal. The people wouldn't be oppressed, so that the people wouldn't be oppressed. The people of Trinidad and Tobago who are oppressed can't find the next meal. Try and get a park in the savannah next week. Oh, is it tonight?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night? Park in the savannah next week. Oh, is it tonight?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night? Park in the savannah next week. Oh, is it tonight?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night? Try and get a park in the savannah next week.
Whose voice was that?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow
Whose
night?
voice was that?
Try and get a park in the savannah next week. Oh, is it tonight?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night? Try and get in the savannah tomorrow night. Try and get a park in the savannah next week. Oh, is it tonight?
Whose voice was that?
Tomorrow night? Try and get in the savannah tomorrow night. Two reggae fellas singing up there tomorrow night. And all these people who are so oppressed and can't find the next meal, right? Can't buy the next school book. Stop pretending, Madam Speaker. We do have people in our nation for whom it's a daily struggle.
People at Trinidad and Tobago. Are you hearing the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago? Who are you? Who are you representing? If you are representing everybody in Trinidad and Tobago, you're supposed to know that there are people that is underneath certain circumstances. And in this area that I am from, the percentage out of 100, it could be a mere 10 or 5% that have. You know what we're going to do? Now, this topic would have started that don't vote PNM in point Fortin. This is something that must be stretched across Trinidad and Tobago. And what we are going to do here now in closing, we are going to go in as to why you should support the argument. PNM, you mustn't vote PNM in point. Somebody saying one out of the comments just there is in Mahaika Oval. And when I reached down there, I would have seen the coach. And we would have talked about a number of issues. Sometimes I just wonder how the people are Point Fortin like this. They're seeing what's going on. They're seeing the type of representation they have been getting from a particular government. But yet still, we see them voting in a particular way. And we just try to understand what's taking place. And we must ask the question, what is wrong with the people in Point Fortin? What is wrong with these people? What Kennedy Richards have done was agreed with the PNM government to throw people who are aspired in sports in Trinidad and Tobago, to put them out on the streets, to subject them to training on the beach, in back road. And my thing about this is nobody is saying anything about it. Nobody seems to care. Nobody seems to want to alleviate the situation that is taking place. But yet still, anybody who jump in, because this is a safe seat, they feel they can do what you want. What they want, a matter of fact. Without repercussions. And what we are saying is that these things need to stop. It had to stop. And if we go band together and put a stop to it, heaven help us all. Watch this big stadium. Watch the size and the capacity. State of the art commentator section. Big high rise. But at the end of the day, it ain't doing nothing, because watch, there are people that have various athletic abilities. That is not football alone. Who did that to us? Who chose that for us? Because I'm sure the many of you in the Point Fortin area didn't choose that. Is that development and progress? Where is that? Now we are going straight into the video. and we will come back on the back end and we will chop it up. Or you know how we just do it? We have an interview with the coach and we are coming back on the back end and we will chop this up. Because this, wow. Right, coach. So tell me, I see you in a council meeting and I see you on the beach, and now telling me about the athletes and them that you had to bring and train on the beach. So give me a little summary of this whole thing.
Well, this started way back since the Crawford won that first gold medal. And if you can remember, because Trinidad just forget, it would appear to me very easy, but things that I want to forget, as a matter of fact. Dr. Eric Williams said he was going to build a velodrome, one in Arima, one supposed to be in San Fernando, and one in Point Fortin. That, however, never materialized after the first one was built in Arima. So we fast forwarding to that. Since the point became a borough, there was also plans to put an all-weather track in Carnation Park. You aware of that? But these kids here mightn't be aware of it. And it is so much years down the road, from 1979 to now. But in near 40 years or more. And all it was just plans put up on a board and there's nothing materializing.
So nothing for the trail, because I would have heard you say something, especially with the council meeting. That stadium could only facilitate one type of sport.
Well, Mahika Oval was designed by Clyde Paul against the wishes of the people of Point Fortin to make it a stadium arena, which was also followed up by Kennedy, saying that they want to make their single sport facility. I don't understand that Michael Oval make all the sport, all the fame that point out from sport, from sporting activity, whether it's basketball, football, cricket. It was born out of Jamaica, so I can't see how they want to just do away with the central sports hub or sports facility to create what?
A single sport. Where is a single sport?
Football. That Vancouver was designed specifically for football, which is a nonsensical approach, because on top of that, Jamaica is a community ground. Or we could only design it for football. You do away with the basketball, you do away with the track and field. I had to be struggling to mark a track around a football field, barely getting 400 meters. I have athletes that going all over the world, representing the country. And I think it's time we get something better. I shouldn't be on the beach now training my athletes.
So all these years are athletes here?
Yeah, training on the beach.
Why does the running?
Yes.
Where is your name? And you just run here on the beach because the facilities here not facilitating here.
Yeah, well, my overlap is a bit too wet right now. Because you see, at this stage, okay, Dream Richards, and they left because they were looking for a better area to train area. And Dream must come now and again. He would come and train with us still. Sometimes when he's in Trinidad at Micah Oval. That's mostly during the dry season time. And that can't work because track and field has gone to a place now where sport is an industry general. And I think that in Trinidad and Tobago, they're taking things lightly. They're not inspiring the young ones that are coming up and coming out of school with the qualification to be a coach. They're studying food and nutrition, they're studying sports development, they're studying, some of them doing biomechanic, and all these things leading up to we getting the personnel or the expertise to build the industry. But the facilities are never adequate. Point Fortin don't have any. Manny Ramjan, the main stand is out of public use. It has been condemned. The National Stadium, as you know, out of use for the past, how much? 4 or 5 months. We have to be going to whatever game that was held in Tobago. How many games that Trinidadians could go in Tobago? And all these are things that the government not really taking
into consideration.
Into consideration. On top of that, I don't think the entry is itself selling it properly to the government that if these games are keeping in Tobago, you must subsidize the clubs going across there. I mean, how much going to Tobago for each athlete might cost about $1,200. A parent that send a child to school, whatever expenses they have now in this time, and still have to run in Tobago because of the lack of maintenance, and that is a governmental problem.
What about this thing? You say something about government. What about the subventions? Did us give any subventions to the club or anything?
No. We were attempting to buy some gym equipment a while ago, and I asked for $120,000 from the ministry. I got $40,000. So personal money had to be invested into that facility. We did buy the equipment, and we did open the gym. It's running now.
So okay? you get all the equipment. So if they only supply 40, or you had also raise the balance because it was 120. So that $80,000 everybody had was to put into that.
That's personal money. And this is the kind of problem that we're having. But the buying the equipment was necessary because we used to train in that gym years prior to COVID-19, and it closed down. We used to train there, and it was down for about 3-4 years, and we had no way to train to do any kind of weight training. But any coach would know that, especially for sprinters, they need to develop boot strength, and then that has to be converted into dynamic or elastic energy in the muscle to facilitate sprint. Power is the rate at which work is done. You must be powerful in order to run fast.
I know I catch you in the middle of training, but I have one more question to ask. You see, people only know about, most of the people know about football, but there are a lot of other track and field. Just name a few of those, because I used to do long jump when I was young. I know about that.
Okay, and although we are facilitated in Mahika partially, we can hardly do javelin, discuss, shot put, there's nowhere for that. Sometimes we do javelin a little bit, discuss when there's accommodation in the footballers not training. There's no long jump. We have probably just a few hurdles. There's no landing mat for high jump. So there's a lot of sports that we can excel in, but the equipment is not there. And I keep saying over and over again, I've seen the government run sports program. You remember this Ken Butcher sport program some years ago? Right. That was a total waste of money and time. And I keep saying from then to now, that was about 2 years ago, that money should have been invested into clubs that were active and needed help, needed equipment, needed shot put, discus, blocks, hurdles, landing mat. And it's about 20-something million was spent in that Ken Butcher program, and nothing came out of it. This sport, and this next one by Anil Robert, what was it again? Sports what? Sports for life?
Yeah, life sport.
Life sport, whatever it is. Life sport. That life sport program is again waste of money. Because all this money come and spend, and the clubs that want equipment, that was needing equipment, still need equipment, and all that money spent. All that money was spent, and half of the clubs that existed all around the country that need equipment, they have no hurdles, they had to beg for a javelin, they had to beg for a discus. So I don't understand what really is the plan and the projection going forward.
The next time I decide to come and have a sit down and talk with you, I want you to break down this thing you say about the minister and the robbers with the live sport thing, and it could be, you see the money could be invested into something more vital.
But of course.
You understand? I want that to be broken down the next time that we think that we have a discussion.
Okay, and this Ken Butcher program that they had years ago, I think it's about 20 million was spent. I mean, and what I'm saying is that this money was spent, but you cannot see any impact at the program that they were running. No impact. None.
I'm taking a look at the way that's come and train because of the facility, and this is the beach here.
I wanted to show the country where Point Fortin used just to train. This is our substitute training area on the beach. Okay? And we produce them in Augusta.
You see this man running here?
These are guys who went with the senior national team. Some of them are gold medalists at Caribbean Games, gold medals or bronze at Caribbean Games. So we actually represented the country well when we go. But I guess this is the enumeration we have. Training on the beach when the savannah is wet.
Well, thank you, brother.
Yeah, but thanks to you, Ed Loud and Ed Clay.
Or you see what people are subjected to. Or you see what the youths of the Point Fortin area are subjected to. And when we ask for an answer, when we ask for a reason as to why something like this had to happen in an area like Point Fortin, now we investigating the stadium. Stadium, real nice state of the art. But why some of the youths and them at a resort, they have to be trained on the streets? What are we paying these government officials for? And this is the result of what we are having today. All right, or you want to turn that stadium into a football stadium, state of the art? What about the rest of stadiums? What about the rest of savannas that is around? Why not put resources and develop these things? Like somehow you don't think of. And when we say that Kennedy Richards Jr. is a disgrace to his father's legacy, people, when they see it, they want to cuss me. And it's things like this that we are talking about. This man ought not to see office again. If this is what we take in, and we have to bend back ways sometimes to get ourselves into a job on these projects and them. I know the hustle, you know. I come from the hustle. I'm still in the hustle. I understand the hustle. I could understand when it's a big man, you know. But when it resort to little children, when it resort to where people used to go and recreate and nothing else is put into place, we have to talk about the incompetency of these government officials that only want to sit down and take a fat salary and not put out no kind of work for what they are doing. Many of them want to sit down in nice sports cars and take gifts from contractors to secure certain contracts for them. Or you would have heard it. And or you want to send legal notice for certain people. And everybody know the fact. I would have seen with my own eye that particular contractor within question, Kennedy, and that individual was in close quarters. That's something I see with my eye. And at the end of the day, this is the type of nepotism and the type of representation that you just get. Now with all parties it is a rotten eggs, but this thing is too far. It's gone too far. Now we are going to dive delve back into this story. And we are going to expose every corner of this story. And the next thing we're going to do is to call this coach. We ain't going to call him on this segment, but the next segment, we go sit down and have a chat with this coach. And all hell is going to break loose. My name is Fernando Jeffrey, and this is the Workers' Rights Platform. Like, share, and subscribe. We ask for you to subscribe because we are giving you, the people, a voice to voice your concern. Don't pass up this opportunity. This is something that the politicians fear. So without further ado, right below the video, you're going to see the subscription button. Press the subscription button. Subscribe to the channel. The one in red, yeah, subscribe to it. And with that, people, thanks for listening. And I am out. Now, that was a recording that we would have done back then. That was just a rebroadcast of what we would have been telling you or revealing to you, the public, from back then. The system of governance of how we vote in Point Fortin needs to change. It is no longer working for us. It no longer is the solution as to what is taking place right now in Trinidad and Tobago. And if we are to be honest with ourselves, we have a government that have no vision. We have party groups that religiously is choosing people and hoping that they do something in return. That have to change. And when I'm talking about party groups, I'm specifically talking to the PNM party groups. And why I'm saying that, the only, I joined another party after. But before anything else, I am a member at the PNM. Still, I have a lifetime party card. And if I was to know my history, I would have known my uncle was the MP for the library area. And with that, I say all I need not go into many of these kind of deviations as to what taking place or what about that part. But when we telling you, the people at Trinidad and Tobago, stop voting. A matter of fact, library and environment, Point Fortin, don't vote for something that is working against you. Why at this point in time you still have to go and beg for work? Why when you have government project you still have to, you are my number, why it have to be that? Yes, the ring behind me is that we giving commemoration to the gladiator because he was the man that would have inspired me as a little boy. I already give that story already. I would have went in studios and see how he operate. And it was one of my dream at a point in time. But these things don't pay it and no work date and nothing. Because anytime you ain't choose a side in Trinidad and Tobago, at the end of the day, your dog's dead. That is what's going on. So when I speak out, it's not from the part that I want to be noticing. The hell with notification. And to hell with self-aggrandizement. This is not anything fulfilling. You come, you talk on a screen. Yes, this year, is that the message from the ground could reach the public. This is what this thing is all about here, you know. This is not I coming here to show off or to speak eloquent. This is not about that. When I had first started, it had a level of fear. And going down into this now, it still have a level of fear, because anytime you say the wrong thing, the politicians do not want you to criticize them. They know how to criticize them. And with that, you know, I want to tell you something, because today I'm saying that I hard was to bring this to you, members of the public. Several times, we would have reached out to the member of parliament for Point Fortin and seeing the response that we get, which was nil. We could say that he don't want to be questioned in concordance to the response that we would have gotten. Now, in March 2023, we would have reached out to Kennedy Richards, a life-threatening situation regarding the land dispute in Gonzal. We would have, that the first time we would have written a letter, we thought we would have gotten a response, we didn't get it. In April, a matter of fact, that same year, there's a timeline, in April 2023, we would have sent a follow-up letter to him, urging a follow-up on the investigation, follow-up invitation to the workers' rights. So we did invite him on this program here concerning the dispute. I ain't gonna go into the letter. We would have written him again in July concerning the road paving, which we would have seen when we would have saw that the road paving within the area of within Warden Road would have reached up to a certain point. We wanted to know why. And we would have tried to reach out to him then. No response. We would have tried to reach out to him in 2023. Urgent meeting request into our invitation. Same thing. Concerning the road, we would have written him again in August. The urgent on the workers' rights show, that is August 2023. We would have written to him again October 4th in connection with the shooting that would have taken place here in that area. No response. We would have written him again on the 23rd of October 2023. We would have written him. And in our later show, we will divulge the contents of these letters and them. I'm fed up with people trying to make us out as the bad guy. I'm fed up at that. I'm fed up at the fact that when we talk about certain issues, they're trying to make us feel as if we are wrong for doing that, which is our constitutional rights. I'm fed up. And what I am saying is this. What we are doing here, the onus is on us. We don't receive no help, no assistance from nobody concerning this. But I in my heart feel that somebody had to do it. Somebody had to speak out. Now, before I go, a matter of fact, I say I was going in, but before I go, somebody else would have leave a comment on one of the video that we did yesterday. A fanatic, by the way. Yes, a fanatic. Would have leave a comment on one of the videos that we would have done yesterday, a live video, by the way. What we would have placed, why you shouldn't vote the PNM, and one of the I want to find the correct one. Oh no, is the one with Rowley. The one with Keith Christopher Rowley. Right, the one where we talk about the taxes. That was sent 19 hours ago. All your feeling, all your fetting and liming, and all the things and all the time, but one VAT off everything. It's good. He put VAT. He put tax. And doing what he's doing, coming from America and Canada or the UK, we're only damn right. He's a damn good prime minister. Hush your ass. He's a boss prime minister. That is from a fanatic. That is one words that come from one of those fanatics and them in the PNM. So judging from the plethora of information in which we would have given you or divulged onto you, the members of the public, when election time, when the election bell rang or ring or is ring, if you guys or the people, my brothers and sisters, if you still vote a party like that into office, something without further ado, I would like to say thanks for listening. It have always been a pleasure and sharing these moments with you. And with that, to you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, I am out, and we are going to come back tomorrow and bring back this thing with Gary Griffith and the whole debate in Parliament. We are just waiting to dissect certain information that we could bring it outside here to you. And after this broadcast, there will be another live that we are going to share with one of the pioneers of radio. A retro, something that coming from the gladiator himself. My name is Fernando Jeffrey, and this is the Workers' Rights Platform. Like, share, and subscribe, and be a part of this fastest growing network. And with that, I